Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kurt, and welcome back to Farlands or Bust, episode 648. Woof, finally. Starting to woof, Wolfie. Taking a sweet time with that. Taking a sweet time indeed. Oh, whoops, we got rid of our torch accidentally. How will we know where my hidey hole is if I don't have a torch there? Since we're never ever going to return to this place. But how's it going, Wolfie? How's it going, Farlanders? Thank you very much for taking some time out of your day to watch or perhaps listen. Perhaps you're listening to the podcast version of this episode. Coming out on Friday, July 20th, 2017, as we continue west to the far lands. Let's make some torches here, speaking of torches. Let's just use all the coal. And continue on. Continue on indeed. After a little bit of another week hiatus there. I've got an explanation. For that. But, yeah. Ooh, I'm getting all choked up. No, the Farlands Rust is continuing here in Minecraft Beta 1.7.3. Hello, all the new Farlanders. Welcome, welcome. Like I said, starting the series with Cone and Beef and Slip. Getting a new intermingling of audiences and whatnot, so thanks for perhaps sticking around and watching additional series on my channel. This is the main series on my channel. This is Farlands or Bust, as we've been doing since I started. This is the first series I started as a gaming YouTube channel, and it continues indeed for over 648 episodes, specifically when you count in the flobathons and things like that. But yeah, continuing on to the far lands. To the far lands. This has transformed from your standard... Excuse me? From your standard... I do need some wool. I think that's what I determined last episode, right? From your standard Let's Play, I suppose, specifically Minecraft. No building, not really much building. And when we do try to build, like the double pie monument, things rarely go well. So do as little building as possible. Not much adventuring either, although you could call this entire journey an adventure. But not much caving or fighting of mobs or MLG Pro combat strats or anything like that. We're just walking. We're just walking in one direction in Minecraft, and we're talking. We're answering questions, and this has kind of become almost a vloggy, journal-y type of series. When it can be. A little bit less than it used to be. But I think that's just the nature of the changing audience and the series and whatever. But yeah, just the fact that there's a podcast edition, it's about the game, certainly. We wouldn't be here without the Farlands being a attainable goal, now that we're over a quarter of the way there. But it's less about the game and more about the journey. It's not about the destination, Wolfie. It's about the journey and the experiences and the talks and the conversations we have as we get there. And as I opened with, I do appreciate you you hanging out with me for this journey, giving myself and Wolfie some company to talk to. And speaking of which, I talked about this in my live streams. But this last week has been a little bit of a change for me in that I've started, well, in moving from Arizona to Washington State. The health insurance options here are better, more affordable, and so I've been taking advantage of that stuff and actually seeing doctors and whatnot, and certain doctors are behavioral health doctors. And I've mentioned this before. I've gone through the fact that I am introverted. That's not really a behavioral health issue. That's just a personality trait. But that's exacerbated by perhaps some self-esteem stuff, some social anxiety. Well, more than some. Certainly social anxiety and whatnot. And that's normal. That's all right. A lot of people, a lot of fellow Farlanders going through the same things. But recently, a new thing I'm trying is last week, I started a medication a well-known medication called Prozac. And in the 20 plus years I've actually been dealing with these things, I've never tried any sort of medication to change the brain chemicals, to maybe not change the brain chemicals, to help. They're just there to help. I know that taking medication isn't going to suddenly be like, bing, I'm happy and socially capable. But it's a helper. It's an assistant. It just brings the level up a little bit to a more reasonable location, I guess. The serotonin levels or whatever else is going on inside. And in doing that, the first week or two of starting any of these, your brain kind of has to try to get used to the new levels of what's going on. And I have been wiped out. It's one of the side effects is just fatigue. Fatigue. There's some dizziness. There was some dizziness. I was streaming on Saturday and I got a pretty serious bout of vertigo. That was no fun. Whoa! Speaking of vertigo, this has been happening. Didn't this just happen in the last episode? We're alright. We're alright. Wolfie, are you alright? Where's Wolfie? There's Wolfie. The single block of grass and dirt with a rose on top has cursed us. No. But that's kind of interesting. Of all the places. What if I use this for my screenshot? Whoop. That will make no sense. But yeah, I started that and it's wiped me out a bit. So I'm glad. Right, today I feel alright, so I'm like, alright, Farlands bus days today now that I feel alright. Yeah, I've been wiped out, feel a little bit of vertigo, so I've not really been wanting to drive anywhere. So I've been pretty much locked to my home. Sleeping a lot. It just feels kind of like having the flu without the flu. Like, just like it's in my brain and my body, but not like in my stomach or my nose or, you know, none of the physical symptoms. It's all just kind of the fatigue and energy and mind and body symptoms. But yeah, we're working through that. And the only reason I decided to even share that is, like I said, this has become sort of a journal, sort of a vlog without the vlog part. This series, and I talked about it on stream to kind of explain why I'm taking it easy on streams and maybe playing games that don't feature a lot of moving three-dimensional colors and racing and high-speed reaction times. But I feel like it's worth mentioning to remove the stigma, I guess, because I know I'm not the only one, obviously, even within the audience and beyond, who perhaps have to either seek behavioral health, healthcare is the word I was looking for there, or take medications for such things. And I even like, well, a lot of maybe younger people watch Farlands of Us too, I've noticed sometimes. Even younger people, you know, sometimes kids have to take a little something that's been prescribed from their doctor to help them focus or do this or that or whatever, and that's okay. That doesn't mean you have to share it. I'm just choosing to share it because I have an audience that I think, you know, if one or two people get helped or realizes, oh yeah, I'm not alone, then that's all for the benefit. But yeah, you don't have to speak up and share and proclaim these things. It's up to you to keep private what you want to keep private. But I'm just choosing to mention it to perhaps explain why maybe in today's episode I might have some trouble finding words. That was yesterday during the stream. I was having some serious problems finding simple words in my head. And that's normal. That's not, you know, anything to be concerned about. It's not one of the bad side effects to watch out for. That's kind of normal and expected between the first week and 2 weeks. I hope it doesn't last too long. But yeah, then after that, things start to equalize, and then it's another 4 to 8 weeks before actually the positive effects of the medication perhaps start being noticed, and perhaps, you know, we're just testing things out. Like I said, I've been dealing with these sort of issues for 20 some odd years. Kind of started noticing in high school, somewhat depression and the social anxiety and things, and I've really only dealt with it with the occasional therapy or counseling, but never medication. So this is worth a shot right now, and it might turn out, 2 or 3 months from now, that okay, maybe this particular thing isn't working. Maybe me and my doctors have backup, replacement things just in case, and or it might turn out that maybe medication overall isn't the right thing. So I'll get weaned off of it and try something else. I don't know. But I just wanted to mention that. I think it's worth mentioning. I think it was in my chat. They said removing the stigma or the social stigma that might still. It's gotten better. Certainly, even since the 90s, has gotten better. A little bit more widely accepted that science is here to help us out, and perhaps we should seek it. Well, there's a zombie. Let's go to sleep. And awakeness. We waited way too long for that there. We were talking. We were busy having conversations with our friends on the internet. Right, Wolfie? Not quite. Oh, there we go. Let's make a boat. Let's make a couple boats. I've got all this wood. Might as well. So yeah, just wanted to mention that. Let's bring all you up to speed, because I know not everybody is able to catch those live streams, or even is able to follow me on Twitter, where I've mentioned similar things here and there again. But yeah, it's all good, and I'm hoping to increase the frequency of these Far Lands Bust episodes, and eventually here we are going to be. I've got an idea. I've got a goal. I've got the beginnings of a system for a new charity fundraiser for Season 7 here of Far Lands Bust. So that'll be coming up shortly as well. And then, of course, donations and questions and things like that. But I still got some questions left over from the last season, which I think I'll jump into. And actually, Chris here from Munich asked a question that's actually somewhat relevant to what I was just talking about. Sort of. I'll just stick with me. It'll make sense. But Chris asked, you often stated that you get most things online and don't do much IRL shopping. Has that changed, or are you trying to change that? And what do you not shop online for? This is true. Pretty much everything I buy now, I buy online. Mostly convenience. Mostly price as well. Online prices are better. I mean, certain things I've noticed. Household items are cheaper at like Target. Like I wanted some pillow protectors. They were like more expensive on Amazon than the cheap $10 pair that was at Target. So the next time I had to make a trip to Target, I just picked up some pillow protectors. Versus a fan. I needed a room fan because houses here in Seattle don't have air conditioning. Same fan was cheaper on Amazon than it was at Target, so I purchased it on Amazon and it got delivered. And I'm thinking of buying a second one to get the circulation going. But yeah, a lot of things I do just buy online. It's a convenience thing. It's a price thing. I think a lot of people are probably that way. What do you not shop for online? Groceries, mostly, although that recently changed. And this is where I brought back to the topic of starting this medication. I've felt a little bit of vertigo, only once, but they also mentioned that maybe you shouldn't drive or operate dangerous machinery while you're trying to figure out how your brain reacts to taking this medication. So I've taken it upon myself to avoid driving, at least for this first week. And unfortunately, I needed groceries as well. But local grocery store called Safeway, I got a coupon in the mail that they're introducing their grocery delivery. And you get $20 off and free delivery. So I'm like, well, $20 of free groceries? Sure, why not? Since I can't go out and I need groceries, I need food to sustain myself. Let's try that out. So I tried that out and it got delivered yesterday, and it was a pleasant experience. Will I continue to do that? Probably not without another $20 off coupon or anything like that. That was a price decision. The items in on the online, like you choose your items, put them in your cart. They were more expensive than I've noticed going to the grocery store, and they even say that on the website. Prices online differ from those in store. So like certain deals that they have might be at their in-store locations at the grocery store, but not in their online checkout system. By like a few bucks here and there, I suppose, but yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be doing the groceries as a regular thing. Nothing wrong with that, but I like being able to choose my items by hand. There was only one problem, and it was my own fault. I chose a cheese that once I received it, if I had had it in my hand and was looking at it in the grocery store, I would have been like, no, I do not want this. But it was like, oh, a cheddar cheese. Okay, I'll buy that. It turned out to be an American cheddar cheese. Those little individual slices of cheese-like product that's not actual cheese. And I'm like, oh, this is gross. I would not have picked this. But it's like $2, so I'm not going to like bother returning it or whatever. So the next time I go to the actual grocery store, I will have to pick out a new cheese. But otherwise, like, the lettuce that they picked out was great. The green bell pepper was a good one. A positive experience. A sponsor? No, not really. Just, I mean, I would. Hello, hi. That would be a weird sponsorship connecting. I don't know where the brand tie-in would be there, but grocery store. Everybody needs groceries when they're on their way to the far lands. Oh, man. But yeah, no, groceries. I buy all my clothes online. I don't shop in a store anymore. And that's due to not wanting to do such things as these, but also there's like more sizes are available online, and I tend to need the tall, slim sizes that most clothing stores don't carry at their in-store locations, just because it makes no sense, because there aren't that many people who need those things. So yeah, I can't remember the last time I went like actual clothes shopping in a store. Many months or years ago, probably even. Like I even bought my most recent suit online, Brooks Brothers. I had to take it in to get it tailored, obviously, as you do with all suits that are over the counter. Over the counter. This suit is a prescription suit. My doctor recommended it and wrote a prescription for it. No, off the rack. Off the rack is the word I was looking for there. Off the rack suits, gotta get tailored. But yeah, no, I even like clothes. I think clothes were pretty much one of the first things I started buying exclusively online, just because it's more convenient, and a lot of places have reasonable return policies. Yeah, pretty much everything. Electronics. It seems weird to me whenever I hear or somebody says that they went to like Best Buy to buy this, that, or the other. I'm like, really? Best Buy? Why? I haven't stepped foot in a Best Buy in forever. I used to work at a Circuit City. No thanks. Remember those? I took them down with me. No. Oh man, but yeah, that was a decent question. Perhaps in the comments below, audience interaction. What are the things that you shop for in person versus online? I once did the Amazon Prime Now, where they'd like deliver something in like an hour or two. But even that I haven't found much reason to take advantage. I've never done the Amazon grocery delivery, although recently they purchased Whole Foods. Who knows what's going to happen there? You got your Twitch Prime account, you're going to get your Whole Foods Prime account now. Get your gluten-free pizza. So yeah. Indeed. Let's see here. Kavak asked, if you could decide where NASA should send the next space probe, which destination would you choose? Ooh, not falling off this cliff, that's for sure. Well, there's been already approval for sending an orbiter to Europa. But I would just want to skip ahead and send a lander. Let's send a lander to Europa. Perhaps even a lander with a drill, or some sort of heat drill that melts the ice and then drills into the ocean beneath, so that I can study what's going on in the salty oceans beneath the ice of Europa. That would be pretty cool, right? I think I'd have to say that. I can say, however, this is something else I mentioned in a stream, that I'm very lucky to have been chosen, speaking of NASA and space probes, I've been chosen to participate in the September NASA Social, like a NASA tweet up, but they've called them social now, for the Cassini, the end of the Cassini mission, which is not a launch, but it takes place at JPL in Pasadena, California, where the control center is for Cassini and, you know, the Mars rovers and things like that. But they're going to send Cassini, which has been orbiting Saturn for many, many years and studying Saturn and its moons. They're going to send it to its final resting place into Saturn. It's going to burn up in the atmosphere of Saturn. And I've been invited to participate in the NASA social surrounding that, to watch it happen, quote-unquote, live from the command center at JPL. Let's go to sleep and talk about more of that in the morning. And a Saturnness, indeed. Indeed. So yeah, that's happening September 13th, 14th. I have accepted their invitation. Now I just eventually need to figure out how to get there. I'm thinking of driving. Could just fly there. But I have to fly into LAX. But I did enjoy the drive. When I drove from Phoenix to Seattle for moving here, I passed by all the signs that said, ooh, JPL, exit here. Ooh. I sadly had a schedule to keep, so I didn't stop, but that would be interesting. But yeah, looking forward to that. So yeah, gonna get to like a little private tour of JPL and where they're building the next probes and rovers and things. They're kind of already preparing for the Mars 2020 rover, which is pretty much kind of the same platform as the Mars Curiosity rover, so maybe there'll be some of that there to see. But also to be there when Cassini goes into the into Saturn and is going to be transmitting as much as possible before it gets destroyed about what it can find out about the upper atmosphere of Saturn. And the reason they're doing that is because eventually Cassini is going to run out of fuel, and they don't want to have just a dead space probe orbiting Saturn and eventually running into one of the moons like Europa or Titan or whatever and contaminating it for future exploration. So they're just going to have a nosedive into Saturn to have it be destroyed, which is kind of I think a recent policy of NASA's not to leave anything that could cause potential interference. Let's call it interference, not necessarily harm. It's not going to cause any harm, but interference with future science. So, yeah, that'll be pretty cool. And I'll do my best to, like I said, Twitch has like a mobile app streaming now. Maybe I'll be able to figure that out before then and do some mobile streaming. Certainly there will be social media postings, pictures, tweets, maybe some video. I'm not 100% comfortable with my videography skills quite yet, but perhaps some video and vlogs. But that'll be cool. I'm looking forward to that. A little something to look forward to on the horizon. More so than the eclipse, which I'm still figuring out my plans for. Ah, sigh. should have been a NASA social for the eclipse. Some sort of excursion or something. Signed up for that. But yeah, science! Speaking of more science, Bright Eyes 890 asked, and I think this was asked during the Flobathon, but we never got around to it. I was wondering if you heard about anything regarding the new Faraday electronic car. I think you mean... yeah, well, I guess electronic car. Electric car, I think is the word you were looking for. That was shown at CES this year. There's a fair amount of controversy about the company. Tesla seems to have the bulk of the electric car market. Do you feel enough is being done to develop electric vehicles? I did hear about... I didn't pay too much attention to... I know, like, Faraday... Like, there's been many rumors that it was shutting down or not properly funded, and then they came back with this car at CES, and kind of had a problem at CES, like it has like a automated thing, and the automated thing failed, and I think it's all the better that there's more, you know, much like there's Twitch and now there's Mixer, you know, competition is good. I don't think anybody's arguing against that. And certainly it would be even more interesting to see these big companies, your BMWs, your Jaguars, your who I think Volvo recently announced that by like 2025 or something that they want all of their cars to be fully electric, I think. Something like that. I might be misquoting. I might have seen the headline wrong. Maybe hybrid is what they wanted. But yeah, it's certainly an important step towards renewable energies. It's still, I mean, it's not, yeah, I don't think it's prime time just yet. The battery technology, battery production even, which is why Tesla is starting to make their own factory to make their own batteries, needs to catch up, certainly. And there's questions regarding that and environment impact of that and stuff like that, but yeah. And like, I suppose you might also be wondering, as a car person, oh, is it all doom and gloom? The end of the combustion engine? No more V8s, no more loud explosions every time you step on the gas pedal? I'm not concerned about that. I mean, people are still restoring and driving around old Ford Model Ts and stuff, so I don't think, like, cars are just going to disappear or be outlawed, or even there's concern about, like, oh, the automated driving, the autopilot stuff. We're not going to even be able to drive our cars anymore. No. I mean, and even, like, you look at sci-fi movies like, I think, Minority Report. Like, oh, everybody's got these little pods that they go around the city in, but when they show scenes out in the country, they're driving cars, you know, on roads that still exist and whatever. So it's not, yeah, I don't think it's like an us versus them situation. I think it's all one thing, and you can be environmental and be very concerned about global warming and be fighting for the cause and education about that, but still maybe want to own a classic car. You know, you could have these varied interests, and you could do so reasonably and responsibly and find whatever makes you happy or whatever. So yeah, but no, I haven't particularly been following Faraday. I think Tesla is starting the Model 3. What is the next? The family car that they're starting to release. They're gonna start doing deliveries of those, I think. I don't know. Woo! Wait a minute now. I was gonna just keep on walking, but let's check this cool snow canyon out. A crevasse, if you will. Ooh, don't fall into this crevasse. It'll be a pain in the crevasse, I tell you what. Neat. Oh, waterfall too? Nice. Cool. Maybe not as magical as I thought it was, but not bad. Not bad. Little random structures are always cool to see in this version of Minecraft. Feel a little bit forced in the current versions of Minecraft because they're like biome specific. Oh, an extreme hills biome. Well, I guess that we're gonna expect all of this. You know, this is just like, oh, just random single hill with a nice crevasse. Oh boy. Well done, Kurt J. Mac. Keeping it classy. Let's see here. Where's the sun? There's the sun. Distant asked, have you ever seen any of the long-running BBC series, The Sky at Night, that used to be presented by Sir Patrick Moore? I have not. That's kind of something that never made its way across the pond. I hear more and more about it, and the more and more kind of space NASA social tweet-up people that I follow online, and certainly a good deal of them are from Europe and the UK, and I've seen a bunch about it. And even now, doesn't like Brian Cox, who's kind of a newer generation of science communicators, he's on there talking about stuff in space. So, I mean, I've heard of it, but I've never seen any of them. I've never really, like I said, it really never made its way over here. And the fact that I don't watch too much TV anymore, certainly in the last 5 years or so, hasn't really helped that situation. But yeah, it's kind of the European version of Cosmos sometimes, I suppose. Maybe a little bit more different topics regarding that, more regular episodes, I think, on that. But yeah, just like I'd never heard of really Doctor Who before it became popular with the reimagining of the series, the reboot of the series recently. A lot of that BBC stuff doesn't quite make its way all the way over here. Woof, Wolfie knows all about that. All right, well, I guess we're building a hidey hole in these barren snow plains in the tundra. Let's get on the other side of this hill. Ooh, yeah, this is quite a tundra indeed. Let's do so right here. Oh, Wolfie. Oh, dang. I should have him sit down. Yeah, over here. So I can hear you bark in the morning. Bloop, bloop. Well done. Well done indeed. That is an episode of Farlands Busts in the bag. I'm feeling a bit out of the energy there. Takes a lot out of me. Well, I'm gonna wrap this up and get it copied over and edit and up. And I hope you all enjoyed this episode, but also enjoy your weekends. In case I don't talk to you until then, certainly keep an eye on my Twitter and my Twitch if live streams are at all something you're interested in. Doing some chill, relaxed live streams this week. If that's your bag, then by all means stop by and say hello, and appreciate your continued support and patience. And that, I think, is a full inventory I have, isn't it? Goodness gracious. Boop. All right, let's, we don't need that. That's an uncomfortable pillow. We're gonna need some pillow protectors from Target. Sponsor. No, just kidding. Yeah. So thanks. Indeed. Thanks so much for watching. My name is Kurt. I will see you next time.